The purpose of these lessons is to show you the logic behind the most basic Chinese characters, beginning with the simplest pictograms, and later combining these elements to create more complex characters. Today's 4 new characters are based on a pictogram of a tangle of creeping vines that was introduced in the character 攴 in Lesson 15. Those connected, intertwined plants next to the mouth radical apparently indicated continuous calling, shouting, or screaming. In these next 2 lessons, this tangle of creeping vines pictogram, pronounced 纠, will create 9 new characters, 4 in this installment and 5 in the next. Today's first character combines 纠with the silk radical to create another character also pronounced 纠, originally meaning a type of rope. This rope consisted of 3 strands of hemp cord braided together and became a metaphor for gathering together or collaborating, and the quarrels and disputes that often result, literally entanglements. Today, however, I'll be restricting all my examples to the extended meaning of a long, thin cord made of hemp and used as a carpenter's chalk line, a chalk-covered string which, when pulled taut and snapped, leaves a perfectly straight line of chalk on a chosen surface. All of today's examples derive from this carpenter's usage, meaning to correct or put right, literally to follow the chalk line. The expression is 纠正，计划中的一些问题有待纠正。Some problems in the plan have yet to be corrected. Notice the expression 有待, awaiting, yet to be done, or remain to be done. 我跟你说话时，请纠正我的外国口音。Please correct my foreign accent when I talk to you. 儿子的行为不对，我们必须及时纠正。Our son's behavior is wrong, and we must correct it in time. 父母需要立刻对女儿这种幻想加以纠正。The parents need to promptly correct these fantasies their daughter has. Notice the phrase 加以 expressing how the aforementioned problem is to be dealt with. 若一直纠正他的口音，之后他会失去信心。If you keep correcting his accent, he'll end up losing confidence. For today's second character, we need to review 长, meaning open and spacious, from Lesson 78, because that character contains an important radical, the hand holding a stick. This radical is pronounced pu and appears on the right side of many characters, referring to beating and punishment. It can be written in 2 different ways, as seen on the slide. Our new character, then, pairs the tangle of creeping vines, 纠, with the hand wielding a stick, 扑, to create first tone, 收. Its original sense was to seize or apprehend a criminal, literally to ensnare and beat him into submission. I'll leave that connotation for another day, because it involves a character I don't want to introduce just yet. Instead, we'll learn its more common but watered-down sense of taking, accepting, or receiving anything. To accept students or credit cards, for example, the character 收 is used alone. 对不起，我们不收信用卡。Sorry, but we don't accept credit cards. 那个有名的高中收男生，不收女生。That well-known high school accepts boys, but not girls. To accept a gift uses the phrase 收下。这是我的小意思，请您一定要收下。It's nothing really, just a token of my appreciation. Please, you must accept it. Notice the meaning of 小意思, a trifle or triviality, literally a small idea of something. Here, it's one way to depreciate the value of what one has to offer, in typical Chinese fashion. As a cultural note, Chinese people do not normally open any gifts when receiving them, instead rather unceremoniously putting them aside while thanking the giver. In my experience, Chinese people consider gift giving to be a matter of face, preferring not to embarrass the giver if the present is inexpensive, or embarrass the recipient should the gift be especially valuable, in which case it will need to be reciprocated in some way. However, in fairness, I should mention that the Chinese themselves explain that it's actually because they are naturally a more restrained and reserved people, less given to ostentatious displays of emotion or excitement than the typical Westerner, especially us loud Americans. 收音机 is the term for a radio receiver, what we'd usually just call a radio. 请把收音机关小一点. Please turn the radio down a bit. You could also say 请把收音机开小一点 and mean the same thing. 我正在煮东西，没太留心听收音机。I was cooking and not paying much attention to the radio. From accepting and receiving, we move on to 收成, bringing in the harvest, literally taking in the result of months of the farmer's labor, that is. 今年的收成比以往哪年都好. This year's harvest is better than ever before. 棉花和豆子的收成好，可是小麦很差. The cotton and bean harvests were good, but the wheat harvest was poor. 若种下上等的种子，就会有好的收成. If you sow high-quality seeds, you'll have a good harvest. 秋收 refers to the autumn harvest. 不久又是秋收的时候了. Soon it will be autumn harvest time again. 抢收 refers to farmers scrambling to get their crops in before a devastating weather event, such as a typhoon. 我们需要人手来抢收小麦. We need more hands to get the wheat harvest in quickly. 收到 is another phrase to say receive. 你收到了通知吗? Have you received notification? 今早我收到了一封情书。I got a love letter this morning. 我好久没收到她的来信。I haven't received a letter from her in quite a while. When talking about the receiver and the sender of a letter, the terms are 收信人 and 寄信人。请填好收信人和寄信人的姓名。Please fill in the names of the recipient and the sender. Income is translated as 收入, literally, what is received or taken in. 他们家里没人有固定收入。No one in their family has a regular fixed income. 他个人收入大约9000多元而已。Her personal income is only about 9,000 yuan or so. 她另外找了一份工作以增加收入。She found another job to supplement her income. 收购 means to purchase, buy up or acquire. 上个月，中国银行收购了华兴银行。The Bank of China acquired Cathay Star Bank last month. 那家意大利餐厅在去年被收购了。That Italian restaurant was bought up last year. When people are purchased, that is, bought off or bribed, 购 is replaced by the more colloquial 买，收买。他没有反对，是因为他被收买了。He didn't object because he was bought off. 你何必再说？你们收买不了我。There's no need to say more. You can't bribe me. 你以为可以收买他，门儿都没有。You thought you could bribe him, but there's just no way. 门儿都没有 is a Beijing idiom that would sound truly odd if you left off the 儿化 on door. 门儿. Literally, it means there's not even a door, an opening leading that direction. So it's utterly impossible. When taking a person or animal into one's care, the expression is 收留, literally, take in and keep. 有一位好心人主动收留街上的野猫。There's a kind-hearted person taking in stray cats off the street. If you're thoroughly enjoying yourself playing a sport or on a vacation somewhere, it's often hard to quickly readjust when it's over. In other words, it's difficult to bring your mind back to your daily routine. Or in Mandarin, 收心 or 把心收回来。小朋友玩的心都收不回来了。The children can't get their minds off play. 回国后，我计划要留几天给我收心。When I return, I plan to take a few days to settle back into my normal routine. Speaking of 收心, or getting back to normal, we might also want to get other things back, such as money or even words spoken in haste. For this meaning, 收回 is the phrase to use. 定金有可能无法收回. The deposit may not be returned. 3/4的成本已收回了。3/4 of the cost has already been recouped. 话已说出口，怎能收回来呢？ Once you've spoken them, how can you take back your words? If 收回 means to get something back, switching the characters around and saying 回收 gives us the term for recycling. 回收工业 the recycling industry. 那些木头可以回收和再利用 That wood can be recycled and reused. 这些手机回收利用的可行性不高 It's not very feasible to recycle these mobile phones. One expression to say take something away is 收走把这椅子上的东西收走 Take the things off this chair. Way back in Lesson 12, I introduced the negative character 没 as in 没有 with a second pronunciation 没 meaning to sink, submerge, or disappear, as in 出没 meaning to appear and then disappear, such as elusive wild animals or ghosts and demons. 没收, then, is the term for something being forcibly taken away or confiscated, such as by a teacher, the police, or a customs official. It literally disappears into the hands of the authorities. 他们可以名正言顺地没收走私品 Their confiscation of contraband is perfectly justifiable. 回国时，我们买的肉品都被没收了。On re-entering the country, all the meat products we bought were confiscated. To wrap up and call it a day is expressed as 收工, literally, to get your tools in order. 我们收工看电影去吧. Let's wrap up here and go see a movie. 时间不早了，今天就收工了吧. It's getting late. Let's call it a day. To say put things away or clear them away is 收起来。这些点心收起来，我不想吃。Put these snacks away. I don't feel like eating any. 把书本收起来，背那首诗给我听。Put your book away and recite that poem to me. 你用完了那个锅子，就把它收起来。Put away that pan when you're done with it. 那些盒子收起来，以后说不定用得着。Save those boxes. You may have a use for them later. 收起 alone can also mean to pack it up, cut it out, or stop something annoying. 请给我收起你这高高在上的样子。For God's sake, get off that high horse of yours. When we want to express the idea of straightening up a room, clearing off a table, or packing one's bags, the phrase 收拾 is particularly useful. 拾 may be second tone, 收拾, or simply unstressed, 收拾。屋子里怎么那么乱？收拾一下吧。Why is the room so messy? Please clean it up. 他们吵架后，女友收拾好背包就走了。After they argued, the girlfriend packed her backpack and left. 别马上动手收拾，小朋友们没有吃完。Don't clear the table right away. The children haven't finished eating. We learned before that doubling, a single character, gives it a more casual sense. somewhat like the difference in English between to look, 看, and to take a look or to have a look, 看看, or 看一看. To add that same casual sense to an adjective composed of two characters, such as 开心, happy, or 和气, easygoing, the way to double the adjective is to use pattern AABB. 开开心心 or 和和气气. If those two characters are considered to be a verb, as in 介绍 to introduce, or 收拾 to straighten up, it will follow the pattern ABAB. 介绍介绍 or 收拾收拾. Here are two examples. 把这个屋子收拾收拾. Clean up this room a bit. 你为什么移动我的东西？收拾收拾而已。Why did you move my things? Just tidying them up, that's all. Another usage of 收拾 is to translate the idea of punishing someone, teaching them a lesson. Or as we might say in English, I'll fix him. 我来收拾他一下，叫他再也不能烦你。I'll teach him a lesson so he'll never bother you again. 不给我的话，我就叫我手下的人来收拾你。If you don't hand it over, I'll have my men deal with you. If 收拾 means to straighten or tidy up, the negative 不可收拾 would mean a situation is out of control, hopeless, or irreversible, literally impossible to straighten up. 他的生意搞得不可收拾. His business was hopelessly mismanaged. 你一定要等事情弄得不可收拾才跟我讲吗？ Must you wait until things get out of hand before telling me? For a written language going back over 3,000 years, it's not surprising there are many different calligraphic styles for Chinese characters, the earliest being the oracle bone style. Over time, different rulers or dynasties settled on a preferred style and made it the official script for all documents during that period. Such is the case with today's third character, based on the tangle of creeping vines element, 纠. This new character does not appear related at all because its final form has diverged radically from the ancient oracle bone script. Its modern form is written in seal script, the preferred style for carving personal seals. It's pronounced fourth tone, 句, or sometimes first tone, 勾, depending on the meaning. I'll introduce characters based phonetically on 句 in this lesson and 勾 in lesson 98. 句combines twisting vines with the mouth reticle to represent the twists and turns of speech, and particularly the voice dropping suddenly to indicate the end of a sentence or thought. The earliest Chinese writings contained no punctuation, and so had to rely on special characters, one of which we've already seen, 也, in lesson 16, indicating a stop or pause in speech. The modern expression for a sentence in Mandarin is 句子. An interrogative sentence is 问句, and a period or a full stop is 句点. 这个句子可能有两种意思. This sentence can have two interpretations. 这个句子最后要加个句点. Add a period at the end of this sentence. 英语的问句是怎么构成的? How are questions formed in English? 在英语，这种过去的问句中要用 did. Past tense questions in English use did. 句 is also the measure word for sentences and speech. 我可以跟你讲一句话吗？ Can I have a word with you? 你说的话没有一句是真心的。Not one word of what you said was sincere. 说句心里话，我无法理解你的说明。To be honest, I couldn't comprehend your explanation. Literally, to speak the words in my heart. You may have noticed that the number 1, "i", is often omitted with measure words. You may, of course, put it back and say, 说一句心里话，说句公道话，他这个人一定守信用。To be fair, he's definitely a man of his word. 公道 means fair, just or reasonable. 他找不到一句话足以说出对他的憎恨。She couldn't find the words to express her hatred for him. To say a few words is rendered as 说几句话 or 讲几句话。麻烦你用几句话加以说明。Please clarify it briefly. 我想利用这个机会讲几句话。I would like to take this opportunity to say a few words. As with other repeated nouns, such as 天天 every day, and 样样 every kind, 句句 means every sentence. 讲道者说的句句有理，句句中肯。Everything the preacher said was reasonable and right to the point. 室友说的句句有理，无法拿话读回去。My roommate's every word made sense, leaving me without a comeback. Our final character takes 句 as phonetic and puts a hand radical on the left. Creating first tone 居. Those twisting vines next to a mouth in 居 indicate where one's speech turns and stops. Now, with the addition of a hand radical, 居 indicates the fingers of the hand turning claw-like to grasp something and hold it firmly. This character expresses the idea of apprehending, detaining, or arresting, literally grasping and stopping. 拘留 is a phrase meaning to detain or arrest someone. 黑手党分子已被拘留3个多月了。The gangster has been detained for over 3 months. 2名跟抢银行有关的歹徒被拘留了。2 criminals linked to the bank robbery were arrested. 树 from lesson 9 represents firewood tied into a bundle. By pairing 拘 with 树, 拘树, the meaning of grasping and stopping naturally extends to restraining or restricting oneself or others. 不要拘束她的正当户外活动。Don't restrict her from legitimate outdoor activities. 她说话和行动都不加以拘束。He speaks and acts without restraint. 照他的想法，我是太没有拘束了。In his opinion, I am too unrestrained. 他们面对面坐着，无拘束的聊天。 They sat facing each other and chatted freely. 拘束 can also describe a person who feels constrained and inhibited in social situations, what English speakers might call awkward or ill at ease. 跟我是不用拘束的，你有话就说吧。There's no need to feel ill at ease with me. If you have something to say, just say it. 他很内向，跟女生在一起显得拘拘束束的。He's very introverted and seems awkward around girls. Turning 拘束 into a negative is one way to make one's guests feel comfortable and put them at ease. In English, we might say, make yourself at home, whereas in Chinese, it's literally, don't restrain yourself. 脱下你的毛皮大衣，不要拘束。Take off that fur coat and make yourself at home. 女主人去煮面，叫大家别拘束。The hostess went to cook the noodles and told us to make ourselves at home. Our 4-character idiom based on 拘束 is 无拘无束, literally unrestrained, uninhibited. 请大家无拘无束地说出你们的想法。Please feel free to speak your mind. 他无拘无束地用想象去幻想可能的情景。She gave free rein to her imagination while dreaming up possible scenarios. 电影明星不能像我们一样无拘无束地生活。Movie stars can't go about their lives as freely as we can. Another expression combines 拘 and 你 to create 拘你 to refer to a person who's tied down by conventions, a real stickler for the rules. Reminiscent of the English expression, a stick in the mud. In this expression, 你 can be pronounced in one of 3 ways. Second tone, 拘你, fourth tone, 拘你, and even unstressed, 拘你. For variety's sake, I'll use all 3 tones in the following examples. 他的为人很不拘泥. He is rather laid back and informal. 爸爸很少对衣着过分拘泥. Dad was hardly a stickler about what he wore. 他的朋友都知道他是个拘泥的人. Her friends knew her to be inflexible about the rules. 这件事你若拘泥合不合法，那就拉倒吧. If you're so concerned about whether or not it's legal, then just forget it. The negative, 不拘, would naturally mean not bound by any restrictions, such as a limit on height, age, size, etc. Here's one short phrase. 大小不拘, or switched around, 不拘大小, no matter large or small, no limit on the size. Here is our color chart with today's 4 characters. 揪收聚 and 拘. Here's a recap from today's lesson. 1. The character 揪 takes the generic silk radical because it originally referred to rope, even though made from the hemp plant. Since this rope consisted of 3 strands of hemp braided together, it came to represent gathering together and its possible result, unfortunate entanglements. Today's examples, however, derive from the extended sense of a hemp cord used as a carpenter's chalk line. Any misaligned wooden beams, columns, or joints could then be brought into correct alignment. From this sense developed the meaning of correcting or putting right. 2. Our second character, 收, originally meant to ensnare a criminal and punish him. That sense of arresting a wrongdoer is still current, but not in the examples I've provided today. The sentences I've given in this lesson are a weaker variation of this idea of ensnaring, simply taking, accepting, or receiving something. 3. Although today's third character, 攙, seems to bear little resemblance to the tangle of vines element, 纠, 攙 is merely a different calligraphic style in which 纠 serves as the phonetic, 纠攙. The twisting vines of 纠 represents the twists and turns of speech and the falling intonation at the end of a sentence or thought. 句子 is a sentence and 句点 is a period or full stop. 4. The fourth character, 居, returns to the original meaning of 纠, with the Socratical, which is the detention or arrest of a criminal, literally seizing and stopping him. This meaning is found in 拘留. Other phrase combinations are 拘束, to restrict or restrain, and 拘泥, to follow convention and never deviate from the rules. Now you will find a short quiz on double, triple character, and longer expressions. Answer using only the characters learned so far. Thank you for watching and listening.